What's going on YouTube? Today we've got the stylish 2023 Audi Q8.
And we want to know, is this the $90,000 coupe SUV that's gonna make your neighbors jealous?
Let's go ahead and find out. So the first place to start out here is under our hood with our spec dump. So the Q8 comes with one power plant. That is a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. It's going to be making 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque.
It's gonna have an 8-speed automatic transmission paired to standard Quattro all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 is 5.6 seconds, so not quite as fast as the Lamborghini Urus. And as far as your fuel economy is concerned, we're looking at 20 miles a gallon combined.
Now, of course, we are going to take this out for a spin a little later in the video, but first let's go ahead and shut up the hood here and take a look at this aggressive exterior design. Now, you heard me say it has an aggressive design, and that honestly is really the biggest thing that's always stood out about this Q8. It is fashionable to the max, especially when you choose to have the S-Line Plus package, because that's going to give you the black optic elements. So you'll notice we have all the entire front fascia completely blacked out with the gloss black elements. Really looks cool. It kind of has a mask effect to it. And if you choose the other trim levels, that's going to make a body color finish around the grille. We also have the blacked out badging. Now let's talk about the lighting. This is something I'm really happy to report for 2023. We now have standard matrix LED headlights on every single trim level of the Q8. That means you're going to have the dynamic turn signals, you're going to have the cool animations, you're also going to have headlamp washers, which are located right there. Now when it comes to these coupe SUVs, they can really range from hunchback to sexy when it comes to the back. And thankfully, this one is on the sexy side of things.
Yeah, Drew, I love the way this Q8 looks. This is one of my favorite SUVs, period. As far as some of the design elements that make that up, we do have an exposed wiper, spoiler up top, but I really like this black piece that goes in between the taillights, blacked out Audi blimblums. Blacked out Audi emblems. And then as far as our taillights are concerned, let's see if all 3 elements are LED. We have an LED brake light portion, LED reverse light, and then we have the bougie dynamic turn signal indicator to just make the people sitting behind you in traffic feel bad about themselves because they don't have a cool turn signal like this. Now dropping down to the lower area, all of this is going to be finished in aggressive shiny black. We also have a mesh trim above that, and we're going to have integrated exhaust outlets, but these are faux exhaust outlets. The actual exhaust comes out underneath. I guess they're trying to make it seem environmentally friendly, but you can always get the SQ8 or RSQ8 if you want real exhaust pipes. Tow rating is going to be 7,700 pounds, which is very solid for a vehicle in this segment.
Now when it comes to your wheels, you do have some choices here as well. You have 21-inch alloys as well as 22-inch alloy options, ranging from kind of a plain silver look to this one right here. This is the showstopper, our 22-inch contrast alloy wheels. They look excellent, especially with this silver paint. Now I also want to point out, you'll notice the red brake calipers. This is included with the S-Line Plus package as well. And then heading up here to our mirrors, they're going to be fully loaded on every single version. That means you're going to have power folding, auto dimming, heating, and blind spot monitoring.
Now the Q8 is a coupe SUV, and what that means is you have traditional SUV kind of design, except it swoops off more at the rear to give you that sportier vibe. The Q8 really nails that design theme. Now as far as other design themes that they're throwing in, we do have the black piece down through here. Every other piece is going to be body color, blacked out window surrounds, and a blacked out roof rail up top. Very good look here at the side, and as far as the overall length, about 196 inches long. Now, as far as the safety systems are concerned, Audi's going to kind of segregate them out depending on what trim level you go for. You are going to have standard forward emergency braking as well as auto high beam headlamps. That being said, if you go for the Premium Plus and above, that will throw in the remaining 2 safety systems, adaptive cruise control with a traffic jam assist as well as lane keeping assist. A new feature for 2023, though, that I do want to mention is that the premium trim level can option on adaptive cruise control. But guys, that's gonna wrap up the Q8 on the outside. Let's go ahead and check out the luxurious interior before we take this sporty looking model out on a spin.
All right, so let's go ahead and get inside here. Before we do, let's take a look at our key fob. This is your typical Audi key fob, nice thin design, all piano black. And of course, to get inside the vehicle itself, you're just gonna grab behind the handle. That will unlock the door. This is an electronic style door handle, so you just kind of pull on it lightly and it will go ahead and unlock and open up the door. Now taking a look inside of the cabin. As you can see, no major design changes this year. Always had a very beautiful looking cabin. And let's first talk about material and color selections. So real leather is going to be standard on every single model, unless you get the luxury package that's going to get you Valcona leather. As far as your color options, as you can see, we do have black, but you can also get Saega beige, Okapi brown, or Pando gray. Now in terms of the seats, 8-way power adjusting with 4-way lumbar support. You can get up to 18-way power adjustment with massage if you go for that aforementioned luxury package. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now before we go any further, I do want to mention that we needed to switch to a different Q8 as you saw on the outside. This is a Premium Plus trim level. Nevertheless, let's talk about overall material quality. As you can see, leather over the armrest with a stitching detail, leather through the middle section. We do have a genuine open pore wood, and we have a soft touch material across the top there. We also have 2-person memory seating and 4 fully automatic windows. As we move to the upper dash, soft touch through here with a stitching detail. If you chose the luxury package, that's going to get you the full leather all through the top of the door trim and the dashboard. Piano black in the middle, more of the genuine wood trim, piano black through here, wood and leather. So very, very nicely executed cabin. Of course, to fire it up, you do have standard push button start. It's going to be located right there. But like always, let's go ahead and move into a first-person perspective and take a closer look at all the details, including everybody's favorite, virtual cockpit. So we have the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit. It remains to this day one of the very best digital gauge cluster systems because it is fully reconfigurable in many ways, including having the full screen maps, all types of information. You can change the size of the gauges as well. Additionally, if you choose the Prestige model, you are going to have a head-up display. Now coming back to the steering wheel, typical Audi steering wheel, fully leather wrapped as you'd expect. It is also power adjusting as standard equipment, and if you have at least the Premium Plus, you will have steering wheel heating as well. Let's go ahead and take a look over here at our storage. Now this is not the strongest area of the Q8 because it is a very shallow storage area. As you can see, it's only about a couple inches deep. We do have most of it as a wireless phone charging pad on Premium Plus and Prestige trim levels. It's not going to fit really very many coupons, that's for sure. And then we also have our 2 USB ports right there. It is adjustable though, so we can move the armrest up, give you a little bit more of adjustment. 2 cup holders and a little slot for your key fob. There's no additional places to stick a cell phone or anything like that. Now taking a look at our shifter, we have a nice electronic style shifter. Full metal, feels really nice in the hand. Of course, you're just going to pull back for drive. You can bump to the right, that's going to activate manual shifting mode, and you do have paddles on the steering wheel. Going forward is going to pull up reverse, and when you do that, you will be greeted with a 360-degree camera system if you choose the Premium Plus or the Prestige model. As you can see, it does bend with your trajectory, and then you also have the cool 3D view where you can spin completely around the vehicle. Of course, P is for park, and your electronic parking brake is located right behind that. Now, before I talk about the audio system, I do want to point out a new feature for 2023. This being the Premium Plus doesn't actually have the button, but if you choose the Prestige model like we were looking at earlier on the outside, that's going to get you a new feature called Remote Park Assist Plus. And what that does is basically give you the ability to pull into and out of parking spots without you even being inside of the vehicle itself. So if you have that tight parking spot, you can do that. Now let's go ahead and talk about the audio system. Premium Plus and Prestige both come standard with the 730 watt 17 speaker Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system. So let's go ahead and give it a sample right now. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this system is excellent, but if that somehow is not good enough for you, you can get an optional 1920 watt 19 speaker Bang & Olufsen advanced 3D sound system on the Prestige model. That's the one with the tweeters that pop out of the dashboard. Okay, so of course when it comes to Audis, a lot of them come with this 2-screen setup. So let's go ahead and kind of start to dig into our lower screen. This is going to be the 8.6-inch display. Most of it is used for climate controls, as you can see. So with this model, you do have a standard 3-zone climate setup, 4-zone climate on Premium Plus and Prestige. Very simple to use. You just tap to adjust your temperature up and down. You do get a haptic feedback every time you touch anything on this display. Additionally, you are going to find heated seats, standard on all models, ventilated seats with the Premium Plus model. And let's move on up here and take a look at the main display now. So this is the larger display. It is 10.1 inches, built into the dashboard, obviously, and it is running the latest MMI touch response system. As you'd expect, it does have a built-in navigation system. You can change the graphics to be Google Earth as well, and then you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Moving up from that, we have an auto-dimming mirror. It does have the built-in compass, and your HomeLink universal remotes are going to be inside of the main display. Up top, we also have the panoramic sunroof. This is a standard feature on every single version of the Q8, and as you can see, the front panel does open up.
All right, guys, come on back here and join me in the Audi Q8's rear seat area. Now, of course, this is a very luxurious place to spend time because this is an expensive luxury SUV. Let's go ahead and talk about the space first, though. Looking at 40.2 inches of legroom, 38.1 inches of headroom, so you are paying a little bit of a penalty for that coupe SUV design in terms of the headroom, although they have made really nice cutouts, so unless you're like Shaquille O'Neal sitting back here, you're probably going to have plenty of headroom. And as far as the legroom figures are concerned, that's going to be pretty solid numbers for the segment, and the knee room is sitting at about 9 inches thanks to our knee cutouts on the rear seat area, and my feet can easily slide up underneath of the seat as well. I can also recline the seats about 5 degrees there. And then as far as features here in the center, we do have some vents right here. There's also vents in the B-pillar as well, so you have 4 total vents. And you're also going to have 4-zone climate control. So each of the rear passengers back here can adjust their temperatures, which is really quite nice. That's standard on Premium Plus and Prestige level Q8s. Now, as far as other features, you would normally find heated rear seats if you go for a Prestige model, but you have to be an executive level because you get that executive package on Premium Plus to get the heated rear seats. Now, down below that, we have 2 USB ports that are the Type-C variety, a 12-volt outlet for whatever people use that for nowadays. And then we do have a central armrest with 2 tiny cup holders here. As far as on the door trim, we have soft touch plastic on the upper part, leatherette through the middle, wood in front of that, leather on the armrest portion, and as far as door storage, you're going to have quite a lot of it. It's about twice as big as the center console in this rear door, so you might just have to store your coupons back here. Now walking up to the Q8's cargo area, we do have a hands-free power tailgate as standard equipment, so just kick your foot under the bumper to open it up. You do have to walk away from it. I've learned that by experience. If you don't, it's not going to open up. Now, as far as the space is concerned back here, a good amount of space, more than the Mercedes GLE Coupe, as well as the all-new BMW X6. 29 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If you fold those down, up to 67 cubic feet of cargo capacity. So you have really good cargo figures on this Q8. It's actually not much smaller. I think it's only about 4 cubic feet smaller than an Audi Q7 as a maximum, which is something worth noting. Now, as far as some of the features, we do have a cargo cover up top, LED lighting on the sides. One thing I do want to point out is there are no handles back here to fold the second row seats, so you're going to have to go up there to fold them down. So I went ahead and folded the seats down with the handles up here. It is worth noting they're 40-20-40 split folding, which is a nice premium feature. But let me come on back here with my tape measure so we can see how much space there is behind the front seat back and the rear of the cargo area, if I can get it straight here. All right. We're looking at about 78 inches from the front seat back all the way to the end of the cargo area. So I'd say you're good for 75-inch flat screen TV if you go Black Friday shopping and happen to land with that steal of a deal. Well guys, we're finally behind the wheel of the 2023 Audi Q8, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things in this test drive. As you can see here, this is our content box, including getting our signature Car Confections sound level reading, as well as discussing our airball and slam dunk, which is our favorite and least favorite element about the Q8. But first, let's go ahead and start out with the hard acceleration. Nice.
A little taste of the acceleration with this Audi Q8. So as far as what's under the hood, it does remain the same this year. It is Audi's signature 3-liter turbocharged V6, 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. And honestly, you know, it's a really good amount of power for this type of vehicle. We're at Texas standoff here at the
it's always stop
sign. But yeah, definitely a good amount of power, plenty of torque to get you up to speed.
Yeah, it does 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, which is really quick. We'll try and get a more of a full acceleration here a little later in the drive when we get on a straighter stretch of road with a higher speed limit. But that's a really quick 0 to 60. It is going to have less power than the GLE and BMW X6 as their standard options, but they do also offer the SQ8, and then they offer the RSQ8 if this is not enough power for you. Yeah, that's quick.
Definitely quick. So you don't need to upgrade to the SQ8, that's for sure, even if you have a need for speed. Also, buttery smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, buttery smooth. This is a great power plant. It just really delivers the power just so smoothly, so refined. It sounds nice as well. And all together, the whole powertrain works well together, including the 8-speed automatic transmission. Very smooth under light acceleration as well as hard acceleration. It never seems confused or anything like that.
And of course, this is an Audi after all, so you have standard quattro all-wheel drive on every single Q8 model, which does mean that you only have the one fuel economy rating of 18, 23, 20 miles a gallon combined. So that's not fantastic fuel economy for a two-row SUV, just having a V6, but honestly, it's not horrible fuel economy for the level of performance that you're getting. 5.6 seconds to 60 is pretty darn quick.
So we're going around a long, sweeping corner here. I think this would be a fitting time to talk a little bit about the overall athleticism of the Q8. I think this is important to mention because it does look very sporty on the outside. That being said, when you're choosing the standard version of the Q8, you're definitely going to get more of a luxury skew. It's going to be very comfort-oriented and comfortable in your everyday driving. That's not to say it isn't somewhat sporty. German cars usually have like a certain level of athleticism that always is going to be there, and that's the case with this. It corners pretty flat. The steering feels pretty responsive. It's definitely lightweight though. You know, and overall, like I said, definitely more of a luxury type of mindset when it comes to the Q8.
But two other models if you want the sport.
Exactly. That's what the other models are for.
Yeah. Yeah, just effortless acceleration.
That was just a, more casual, normal acceleration. Yeah, it just feels so smooth.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and do our sound level reading going 55 miles an hour. Settled in at 58.1 as our official Car Confections sound level reading, and let's see how that compares to its competition. And with our sound level chart, that actually ranks on the louder end of the segment. That being said, that is maybe a little bit louder of a road surface than some of the other cars that we normally test on, but it is worth noting that you do have to get the prestige level to get like dual pane glass and stuff like that. So we're in a Premium Plus right now, so I would imagine if you go for the fully loaded models of the Q8, you would have a quieter cabin as they've done more to insulate it out.
Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but this does have a 48-volt mild hybrid system. If you're wondering, what is a mild hybrid compared to a regular hybrid, well, basically it's a much smaller system. It's primarily used in this case just for advanced auto start stop. So as I was coming to a stop there, this vehicle goes ahead and turns the engine off before I even come to a stop. And it just makes it extra smooth when we take off again.
Yeah,
you can
incredibly.
barely feel that at all. So this is kind of, an auto start stop system that you probably won't want to turn off.
Yeah. And as we start cruising just around town here, I do want to talk about your ride quality for this Q8. Now, I have to say, just riding around today, it is incredibly comfortable. We already kind of mentioned that it's not designed to be sporty, at least in regular Q8 form, and you can feel that in your ride quality. It just has phenomenal ride quality. It soaks up the bumps really well. They do even offer a 4-corner air suspension setup if you go for the fully loaded model. So if this ride quality in the standard setup, like what we're testing out today, is not good enough for you, you can get the air suspension which smooths it out even more. Although I would say I think that's a little bit of an unnecessary option given how good this Q8 rides in the standard setup.
Right. Now, for the airball and slam dunk, we didn't look back at last year's video, but honestly, I'm certain that it's the same as last year, because there's really kind of the one thing that just super stands out about this, and one thing that kind of stands out as the negative thing. I'll start with the negative thing because that was in my section, the interior section. The storage in here, for a pretty decently sized crossover that this is, you just don't have any good spaces to stick loose objects, like the sound level reader has to take up the cup holder, for example. We just need like a nice storage bin here, something big, and we just don't have it.
And for our slam dunk, I think it's just got to be the way this Q8 looks. This vehicle is a very stylish offering. It shares bones with Porsche Cayenne, like all these exotic vehicles. You can even go up to the Lamborghini Urus as far as like how it shares bones with it. And it just has some of the design elements from those models. It really does look absolutely amazing, especially when you get a black optic package on the outside, red brake calipers, an SQ8 and RSQ8. I think this is just one good looking vehicle, and style knocks it out of the park. And let's go ahead and talk about the pricing of this Q8. Now, of course, this is a luxury SUV, so it's going to have a luxury price tag. Premium model is going to start at $71,800, Premium Plus $76,900, Prestige $82,700. This particular model, this white one that we've been testing out for the interior section, is about $79,500. For the exterior section, where we're looking at that Prestige model with the black op, that's about $90,000. So you can really range this Q8 to any price tag you want. And guys, that's going to wrap up our in-depth review of the 2023 Audi Q8. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By doing so, you help give us access to better cars to show you all on the channel, so please do that. Tell a friend and tell a family member to do so as well. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support and viewership. It makes all of this possible. And we do also have channels on TikTok and Instagram where you can find shorter forms of content. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.